an origin for eggnog, let me
Would be
pull
a good
one
idea.
out of the my proverbial butt, and
Oh,
maybe I can just do it today.
are you serious? You actually have one?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
I'm
Bring it
really
on,
good at these
man.
by now.
Let's
I'm
do
really
it.
good at these by now.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I got this origin from time.com, as in Time
Oh,
Magazine.com. So, Brian, eggnog really makes you wonder, how did humans first think of chugging a spiced and spiked egg yolk and milk mixture was a good idea?
I have been wondering that. Yes.
Right. I mean, it's so wonderful. I mean, it tastes like melted vanilla ice cream to me with alcohol in it. But yeah, where'd that come from? Despite its love it or hate it fame, eggnog has charmed drinkers for nearly a millennium. That's 1,000 years for
Wow,
those of you
dude.
who don't know that word. While culinary while culinary historians debate its exact lineage, most agree that eggnog originated from the early medieval British drink called posset, Posset. It is a
Okay.
hot, milky, ale-like drink.
Posset. We've
That
got to
sounds
have
really
some
good.
positively posset. It's
Posset. Let's
fantastic.
go get some posset at the pub.
That's right. Let's
Uh,
go.
no, we love British people. We're not making fun of you. By the 13th century, monks were known to drink a posset with eggs and figs.
Ooh,
Now that
figs. Okay.
sounds fantastic,
Yeah.
especially if it's eggs and fig Newtons.
Mm.
Milk, eggs, and sherry were foods of the wealthy at the time, so eggnog was often used in toasts to prosperity and good health. Now, eggnog became tied to the holidays when the drink when the drink hopped the pond in the 1700s. American colonies were full of farms and chickens and cows, obviously, and cheaper rum, a soon signature ingredient. So instead of the sherry, they started using rum in the Americas.
Okay.
Mexico adopted the very eggnog varietal rompope, Rompope. I've never heard of that.
Mm-mm.
And Puerto Rico enjoys the coquito, which adds
Ah,
coconut milk. That sounds great too.
yes.
The English name's etymology, however, remains a mystery. Some say nog comes from the word noggin, meaning
Yes.
a wooden cup or grog.
Okay.
Sorry, noggin meaning a wooden cup, or grog, which is a strong beer.
Yeah.
Uh, Actually, I thought grog was like a really weak beer. That's what I always heard. But by the
Well,
late,
I've
yeah,
heard grog as far as from pirate side of things where they
yeah,
would
like on
put things in
ships.
there that you shouldn't be drinking, like, kerosene, or it was kind of like
Well,
a throw everything in it and see if you can tough it out. And if you can tough it out, you're on the crew.
oh,
And if you can't, you die.
okay.
I mean, that could be an urban legend. I don't know.
See,
Or a pirate
I'd always
legend.
heard that grog on ships, ships back in the day was like this really, really watered down ale because they
Well,
were
oh, you're
trying to
right.
stretch it as
We
far
did
as.
do an origin on that because they were
Did we?
watering. Yeah, you're right. To stretch it out, to stretch out the rum, right?
That might have been
Wasn't it
it.
something like? See, now it's coming back to
It's
me.
been too long.
It's
Yeah,
been too long. Anyway,
I'm
but
amazed that I
eggnog.
remember which origins we've done. To be honest,
I thought
there's a good
noggin meant
chance
head. So it means
that's
a
what I thought
wooden
it did.
cup. Yeah.
But
Hey, by the way,
originally it meant a wooden cup.
hey, hello to Noggin, by the way. Thanks for listening and watching. Appreciate that.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Noggin. We appreciate it. By the late 18th century, the combined term eggnog stuck. So they don't know
Hmm.
where it came from, but they have some speculations. Eggnog purists argue that those who don't like the Yuletide drink have simply never tasted the real thing. And that's
Yeah,
actually a good argument.
like me.
Yeah. Sugar laced supermarket versions can't hold a candle to the homemade goodness, especially
Yes.
since the US Food and Drug Administration permits that the drink can be made from as little as 1% egg yolk.
Mm,
That often borders on milk nog or egg flavoring,
okay.
right? So all the eggnog I've ever had in my entire life has probably had very little egg in it.
So the stuff that
Uh,
I'm drinking is, like I said, local dairy, and it is all
mhm.
natural ingredients. It's a very homemade recipe. Best eggnog I've ever had in my entire life. So the only
And I'm
thing that
jealous.
could top it is a homemade one, which I've never tried, but it's amazing. But yeah,
That's probably
keep going.
that's probably the closest thing to homemade. Now,
Oh yeah.
our founders, as in the founding fathers of the United States, would have had none of that. George Washington even penned his own famous heavy on the alcohol eggnog recipe.
Mm,
Only one
okay.
problem, though, he forgot to record the exact number of eggs. So cooks in his era estimated a dozen would do.
Okay.
Now here's the recipe for you guys. It's 1 quart of cream, 1 quart of milk, 1 dozen tablespoons sugar. That's a lot of tablespoons.
Yeah, that is
Although not, it's only
12
one
tablespoons.
dozen. It's not
Yeah.
as much as mixed with everything else is probably not as much. 1 pint of brandy, a half pint of rye whiskey, a half pint of Jamaica rum, a quarter pint of sherry. So he mixed
Oh
4
my
alcohols.
gosh.
Now, granted, this
That's a
is
lot of
meant. I think
alcohol.
this is meant to feed a few
Himself?
people, right? Well, he was a big
It's a
guy.
lot.
He was a big guy. Mix liquor first, then separate yolks and whites of eggs. Add sugar to beaten yolks and mix well. Add milk and cream, slowly beating. Beat whites of eggs until stiff. I did not know you could beat the whites of eggs until they were stiff. I didn't know that happened. And fold slowly into the mixture. Let set in cool place for several days. Taste frequently.
Okay, I don't
That's
know
his
this for
recipe.
sure, but isn't that how you make meringue? Is with beating egg whites
Yeah,
into a stiff mixture and then adding
I,
whatever else you're supposed to?
I've heard that, but
Isn't that right?
I've never beat egg whites before, so
I've never beat
that's just
anyone before.
foreign to me. Oh yeah,
Dude,
whatever, Brian.
that's amazing. I'm blown. But see, hold on though, because this eggnog has all kinds of other wonderful spices in it, like cinnamon and nutmeg, especially nutmeg.
Yeah, good
And
point.
there's other things,
He does not.
cloves and
He doesn't mention spices, and I wonder if it's because the rum and the whiskey and the sherry combined and the brandy
true.
are take the place of the spices.
And maybe they couldn't get spices at that time as easily as we can now too, because I
Yeah,
thought
they
that
were
was kind of
available, but
that
yeah,
was
they were
harder to
available,
get.
but they were harder to get
Yeah,
the further back in history you go. But I think in the 1700s they were available, certainly to George Washington. But
yeah.
I don't really know what I'm talking about. So
Hey, no, whatever. But I love the end of the recipe says taste frequently.
yeah,
So yeah, that must be how he got through his presidency.
yes,
Interesting. Well, I would be willing to try this, except I don't, like I said, I don't drink alcohol. So I could see rum flavoring, or there
yeah,
is a
rum extract,
non-alcoholic version of rum, which is,
right?
it's not rum though. It's something, I don't know. But I could see that. And then I could see, of course, you got to add in all the spices. You know, we do have some actual nutmegs that you could freshly grate over the top. I didn't have time to do that today, so I just did some powdered, but freshly grated nutmeg, man, that's just wow. But I
Dude,
might have to the cream, heavy cream, by the way, not just half and half. Forget
right?
that. It's a quart of
It's heavy
heavy
cream.
cream, and then
Yeah,
if you're going to use milk, use whole milk. That's the
sure.
only way
Yeah,
to
because
do it.
that's
I
what
mean,
they would have
otherwise,
had
why
back
drink
then.
it?
So
Yeah,
yeah.
people that drink like skim milk eggnog, it's like why? I mean, why even drink it?
Why?
Yeah, it's like sipping chocolate. You know, you're supposed to have 5 ounces of sipping chocolate. It's basically like a bar of chocolate mixed with heavy cream and drink. I mean, that's it.
Oh,
Yeah, you
dude,
don't need a whole
you're speaking my
12 or
language.
16 ounce cup of that. Just 5 ounces, you know? Corbin Dallas. Anyway.
Corbin does.
Well, thanks for that, man. I appreciate that origin. That
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah, and it just
I'm
I
just
just
down
happened
myself.
to have it ready when you needed it. So
Mm.
lucky there, huh?
I love eggnog. It's one of my favorite drinks. Some people just can't stand it, but I get it.